Title: No toy for you. First, the sorry on mobile, and grammar isn't my strong suit. This happened in the early 2000s when I worked at the Giraffe toy store. Just before Black Friday shopping began. I learned while working at this store that commercials for a toy can run 2 weeks or more in advance to build up interest in a new toy. I also learned we would have the toy in but couldn't read, generally wouldn't release it until a certain date. Also at this time, red shirts are holiday workers and blue are regulars, at least at the store I worked at. So this Ed comes to the store, roams around for a bit looking for this toy, before going to one of my coworkers in her red shirt asking for the toy. She, red shirt, told him she didn't know where it was. Ed starts screaming at her so much the other staff starts coming to see what's wrong. The girl was in tears. He called her all kinds of names and she quit the next day. She was so upset. Now, not all of us have children or watch kids commercials, but I did, so I knew about the toy he was looking for. I tried to de-escalate by speaking in a very calm tone to him while he started to curse me out and call me stupid, and how come for a toy store you don't have this popular toy yet, blah blah. I, blue shirt, in my best customer service mode, explain about commercials and release dates, not telling him this toy's release date. His still starts spewing hate. Eventually security makes him leave. The funny part is the popular toy was being released the next day, and if he had been nice we probably would have let him have it a day earlier. He was just so hateful that myself and the others decided we didn't even tell him it would be out the next day. I don't know if he ever found his popular toy, but he didn't get it while I was there. Title: Karen gets offended that her kid only gets one free candy bar. This happened a few years ago when I was 27. I'm a disabled female in a wheelchair and live in a smallish city, population 40,000. Being disabled has caused many issues for me, mentally, so I came up with something that made me feel good, but at the same time, made others feel good too. I live in a small city where you see the same people all the time. Handing out candy to strangers might sound little sketchy, but I had good intentions doing this, which people could see and appreciate. I started buying large bags of 100+ lollipops to give to strangers, knowing the difference that one act of kindness can make in someone's day, having experienced it myself in different ways numerous times before. I called it the Lollipop Run, and I soon became known around town as the Lollipop Lady. A title I wore with pride. I'd buy a bag of 100 lollipops and spend an hour going around handing them to people. I did this a few times a week, giving them to workers at businesses and people I went past. I was always careful when there were kids, as I didn't know if they were diabetic or had allergies. Because of this, I would always ask the parents if their child would like one, which I never had a problem with. Until this one day. I'd only just started on the run for that day when I entered one of the malls in my town. There is an indoor kids play area in this mall, so I went straight there. I saw a woman sitting at a table just outside of the play area, who I assumed was the mom of a kid playing there, so went up to her. Me, excuse me. I'm giving out lollipops and I was wondering if your kid would like one. Karen, not seeming like a Karen at first. Oh, that would be nice. Oi, kid, you want a lolly? Her son smiled and ran over. Yes please. Me, getting the bag out. What color would you like? Kid, green please. I handed him a green lollipop and started to leave, but Karen, seeing how many lollipops were in the bag, wasn't having it. Karen, what? That's it? He only gets one? You've got loads more in there. Give him another one. Me, sorry miss, but I have more people to give them to. This bag is to be spread to more people. Turning to talk to the kid, it's a hard job working for Santa. You know how important sharing is, don't you? He was ecstatic with the one lollipop and didn't seem at all upset about only getting one. Karen, don't talk to my son like that. Now, give me your manager's number. Me, confused, my manager. What? I'm not getting paid for this, lady. This is something I do because I want to. Not because I have to. Instead of getting greedy, maybe you should get a lesson in selflessness, something you seem to be lacking. Have a nice day. And I left. I heard her muttering something as I left, but I don't know what it was. Title: My M only wants to snoop through my Amazon orders, so this is my first post here, and the title might be a bit shit, but it's the only thing I can think of anyways. I'll introduce you to the cast. Me. Go on. Guess GD, Great Dad M, my mother. So this happened about an hour ago. A little backstory. I was trying to purchase a mask from one of my favorite game series Watch Dogs. It was Wrench's mask for those who were curious, and I was having trouble ordering off of Amazon since it was my first time, so I go to ask my mom for some help, and I think to myself, God forbid my mom complaining about the mask. I was wrong. I was so wrong, and I go to show her the problem and she points at the mask, and this is how it went. M, what's that? Me, it's a mask that's cool and lights up. What's wrong? M, I don't like it. It doesn't even look cool. Why would you need it? She is a huge anti-masker as the usual Karen, sadly no stereotypical attire. Me, well, the sole purpose of it is, well, it just looks cool and I want it. M, well, you aren't going to get it. Me, why? I want to know the big concern. It's just a cool light up mask. M, I don't like the fact it covers your mouth. You're gonna suffocate. Yes, I have asthma, so that's the only reason my mom brings up to why I can't wear a mask when I want to. Me, well, spoiler alert, I'm not. My mom then sees that it's around $15 for shipping, and my goodness, does she like to focus on the shipping price. M, and it's $15 for shipping. If you want something, just send me the link and I'll order it. Me, but what if I want to know the value of money? My mom then completely ignores me saying that and calls my dad over. GD, yeah, what's up? M, OC is trying to order this horrific mask. Mind you, I've already showed this mask to him. GD, what's wrong? It's a cool light up mask. My mom and I then almost repeat the process over, this time in front of my GD, and my dad chimes in and says, GD, why would you care? It's not affecting you. Plus my asthma is as worse as OC, probably even more worse than his, and yet I wear masks when I go out on the bike. He's part of my local motorcycle club, and I breathe perfectly fine. My dad then goes back to watching his show on the TV in another room, and yet again my mom goes, M, you're not having it. Me, why not? Just as dad said, it's not doing anything to you. M, don't listen to your dad, he's crazy. He's been crazy ever since he got into some drugs. He's perfectly fine now. The only thing he does is smoke. Me, well, you smoke with dad and more than he ever has, so I think you're the crazy one. My mom then pretends to ignore that line and tries to get it, so I send her links to the items I want. The arguing goes on for a bit. IDK how, but I forgot a lot of lines, so I made some fillers for them in which I wish I would have said but didn't. I do end up mentioning how much she wants me to send her links to stuff I want, and say that she is as bad as my grandma who loves to snoop around. She gets shocked and storms off to bed. I'm thinking of sending her a link to something I want. Title: My dad is kinda entitled. This is more of a rant, but my dad is kind of entitled. Like, he gets angry when we don't want to go out with him. Usually he'll text us that we need to get ready. I'd like to spend time with him, but geez, he comes over every day. I'm not his entertainment. I'll always ask my mom, or I'll say I don't want to go. Then I'll feel guilty about it, when I shouldn't, because he gets overly mad over these things. Ain't that a bitch? I need to do something the day he asks us to spend time with him, then I feel guilty about it? I shouldn't, because he always complains about it. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Am I being too harsh? Then again, he comes over every fucking day. We don't ask him to come over. He just comes over. Title: M threatens teacher. Trigger warning: the R word was use. So this was last year when I was volunteering in my daughter's classroom, and so was M. This took place when the kids were at recess. M is the typical Karen. Short blonde bob, lots of tacky jewelry, minivan. She has a really sweet daughter we will call Kate. Now Kate has had some learning challenges and behavior issues in the classroom. I know this from volunteering often. So while the kids were at recess, the teacher, a really sweet old woman, pulled Karen aside. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but I could hear everything. Teacher, I'm really worried about Kate. Karen, I feel like she might be on the autism spectrum or have some ADD stuff. She freaks out when she hears loud noises, she isn't reading yet, and is overall struggling a lot. I want to make a referral to the school's psychologist. Karen, excuse me? There's nothing wrong with my kid, she's just a slower learner. Teacher, she's in the 2nd grade and she can't read at all. Karen, well, maybe if you did your job better we wouldn't have this issue. Teacher, every day I spend a lot of time helping her specifically. We need to get her evaluated. Karen, my kid isn't retarded, she is perfect. If you mention evaluation one more time or I'll knock out all your teeth. Then Karen stormed out of the room.